Hello, welcome to episode 132 of the Epic Film Challenge to 1001 Movies You Must See Before You Die, 1950s In a Lonely Place, starring Humphrey Bogart, directed by Nicholas Ray, a film noir, and it's really interesting because I watched this and Sunset Boulevard within a couple of days of each other. Both films were made or released in 1950. Both films are about Hollywood writers. Both films are film noir. And both films feature a scene where a character says, "Oh yeah, on a clear day you can see Catalina." It's just like I can get the connection of 1950 film noir, Hollywood writer, but that scene where someone says, "Oh yeah, on a clear day you can see Catalina," I was just like, hang on, that's just a bit odd to me. Anyway, I had to kind of throw that bit of a personal trivia in there for you. In a Lonely Place is about a Hollywood writer called Dixon Steele. I believe that's his name. Dixon Steele, played by Humphrey Bogart. I just love that name, Dixon Steele. Jake Bullet, Cybernautics. Such a great name, and he's going to write this script. He gets given a book, and he's got to adapt this book. This novel is quite popular and stuff. And this assistant, this woman at this place where he goes, she's been reading the book, and she's like, "Oh, it's great. Can I just finish it before I give it to you?" "All right, yeah, whatever." Bogart says, finish the book. So he goes and has a drink with some of his filmmaking buddies, and then he turns to the girl and he says, "Just come with me to my house and tell me the book, so I don't have to read it." He's not interested in adapting this book really. He's just going to do it because he has to do it. It's a job, but he's not really interested in reading the whole novel. So he brings this assistant woman who has kind of read the novel and enjoyed it to come over to his house and just tell him the plot so he can get a gist of it. Which she does, and he pays her some money for it and sends her off to get a cab, and that's that. Next morning he gets called into the police station. The woman has been found murdered, and so he's implicated in this because she was at his house the night before, and he has this very unrealistic story that he paid a woman to come over to his house and tell him about a book. Now he has a new neighbour who lives across the way in another house, played by Gloria Grahame, and her character was called Laurel Gray, and she kind of was the only witness that the woman came and left his house at a certain time. And what you have really here is this romance, this kind of very tempestuous romance between Dixon and Laurel, and and also I guess the main kind of driving theme of the film is that Laurel isn't completely sure that Dixon had nothing to do with the death of this girl. She begins to fall for him as he begins to fall for her, but Laurel is not entirely sure that he's innocent, and his erratic behaviour begins to kind of set off all the alarm bells. There's a lot of great supporting parts in this film. I love the, it just classic Hollywood film noir. I just love the way, film noir Hollywood films are shot, and the way that they're lit, and the way they look. Just, marvelous stuff. I love film noir, and this was another great one to kind of add to the long list of great film noirs I've seen. I love the story. A very short film as well, 90 minutes, and it just had all this stuff packed into it. And I loved the dynamic between Gloria Grahame and Humphrey Bogart. Great on-screen chemistry. This romance, it was not your typical romance, and I enjoyed the questions that were raised both in Laurel's mind and in the audience's mind, and the way that it led to an interesting and different finale, which I really appreciated, because I could see it going one way or the other, and it kind of went somewhere different than that. So I was kind of surprised pleasantly by the way that this film ended up tying up everything, and it's definitely fun. I'm going to watch again and again. I really love this one, and it really is. I think Humphrey Bogart was what really. I mean, his performance was just so vulnerable at times, but powerful as well. I mean, there's a lot of facets to his character that I really enjoyed seeing unfold, and then kind of pulled back a little bit, and then kind of maybe doled out a little bit more as the film went on. Just very back and forth, kind of giving stuff away and then kind of drawing back in, maybe. I don't know. I like the way that his character was portrayed in the film, both from the writing and from the performance from him. And I really enjoyed just personally the whole writing side of it, because he's struggling to write, and then he kind of gets into a groove, and he's up all night, and he's up till he hasn't gone to bed yet because he's writing, and that's what I do when I get into a writing zone. So I really enjoyed kind of you know, projecting my own kind of experiences writing onto the character in the film, and it just kind of hooked me into it a little bit deeper than would have been normal, I think. So, is it a film must see before you die? I think it is. I don't think it's a masterpiece, but I think it's a great film, and a great, you know, little film. Just, again, 90 minutes, it's very compact, there's a lot packed into it, and I feel like it just works really, really well, with all, you know, the scenes that are used in the running time. And again, to say it again, like I said with Bicycle Thieves, the last review, I just think that I really am impressed more, I think, by films that are just like 90 minutes, hour and a half, and they're just so great, and they don't need 2, 3, 4 hours to tell this amazing story. They just pack everything in there. And I feel like I'm beleaguering that point now, but this is something that I really think is impressive. Is when you can tell a really good story, but be conservative about the way that you tell it, and just kind of use the time well. Anyway, that's it for this review. Let me know if you've seen the film, if you have any thoughts on it, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.